Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa Deltorre, and I am a small business and life coach. And I believe in a whole body, whole life, whole spirit approach. Whenever we move one thing in our life, it's a domino effect and can affect every other area in our life. And we are going through and talking about some of the basics of life coaching. And this can really be applied and impact every different area of your life, whether it be personal, interpersonal, or even professional. So today we are going to talk about journaling. Yes, journaling. And when I think about journaling, at first I always thought of diaries. Little girls and their little books with little lockets, and they were all pink, pretty, had the ribbons. It has since evolved since that time. I know I had those when I was little, but nowadays they make really, really pretty books. I'm actually holding one right now. Looks like this. It says hello, and I have multiples. I use them for different things. One is just for to-do lists. Another is for my nightly journaling. Another is a gratitude list that I will just pull out and list, whether it be 3 things, or if I'm really on a roll and I'm really feeling it, I'll go through and every single thing that I am grateful for, any good thing that happened that day or that week, I will jot it down in that book. I have a couple sitting in random different places of my house that whenever I'm inspired, whether it be a business idea, a personal idea, or a revelation that I've been thinking about a situation, I'm trying to figure out, why did I do this? Why did I elicit that response from somebody else? If some epiphany comes to my mind, I want to be able to get it down on paper. It also helps with many different areas or personality traits that can come up. And I say personality traits because I think every single person displays what we're now calling disorders at different times in their life for many different reasons. Just because you have anxiety isn't all bad. It is to help you realize priorities, or if high stress situations, help you get certain things done, help you survive. These things don't come about just because there's something wrong with you, right? You're human. There's nothing actually wrong with you. It's finding out, how does your brain work? How many times have we gone down this path, and let's say you have created a habit of being anxious, so now your body is able to go down that anxious path more easily, right? Once we understand those patterns that we have personally, it makes it a lot easier to then break down new habits, new patterns, and work with our brain and with our body to get the results that we want. So depression is another thing. It is the habit of thinking negative thoughts, the habit of being hopeless. Can it go into chemical imbalance? Absolutely. A lot of times it starts from a habit of thinking, a habit of eating or not exercising, and it absolutely can stem from a trauma that happens, right? Any trauma changes the way and the pattern that our brain functions. So yes, it can go into a medical and scientific explanation if there is a chemical imbalance, and sometimes there is a need for medication. I'm not saying to exit out all medications or medical help. They are absolutely needed, and you are the only person that's able to tell if it is time to go in and seek medical help or not. The beginning or the end, right? Like if you are just starting to notice these habits, okay, here's some things that we can implement. And if you're in the thick of it, well, and you're seeking medical help, then here are some things that you can add to your regimen on top of that medical help. Or even after, let's say you just stopped taking an antidepressant or something that helps with your anxiety. This is another thing that you can add to your life to help you cope or help you create new habits, new ways of thinking, increase your positivity, and really dive into new patterns that will allow you to be stronger and not have to go back on any habits or patterns or regimens in the past. Again, I am not a doctor, I am not a psychotherapist, I'm not prescribing any medication. Absolutely, if you are in need, seek medical help. This is just an addition to. So, with that little bit being said, we can dive into journaling and the things that it helps with. So I took a couple notes here because it's a lot more in depth than just like, grabbing a pad of paper and writing down your thoughts. There's a lot of really amazing things that it helps with, and the biggest being that it activates the larger areas of your brain that's responsible for thinking, language, healing, and memory. That's a lot of different parts of your brain that are now connecting just from handwriting out, not typing. Literally, pen and a pad. Getting those hand movements down and translating what's in your brain, having that go through your body and out on your hand as you're writing it out, those are the actions that activate those large parts of your brain. So if you're in a hurry, if your lifestyle isn't conducive to it, this second, absolutely type, jot it down in your notes. Those are definitely helpful in those times. They're just not going to have the maximum amount of impact as taking a pen to paper and handwriting out your journal entries. The next thing I want to talk about is the different ways it can help with anxiety, depression, and overthinking. If we don't have an outlet to talk to, or a friend or a family that is completely unconditional in their judgment and in their love, it can be really hard to have these discussions and talk about certain topics that's going on in your life with that person. So journaling really allows you to go internally and observe your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own patterns, and really fine-tune them out. Like you're searching through them, and all of a sudden you're going back like, wow, I've written down this statement or this way of thinking multiple times. Is this now me that's creating this pattern, or is it something that's external? Am I putting myself in certain situations where I'm allowing myself to be treated a certain way, or to be subjected to certain things, or what do I actually think about myself? I'm writing down, I think I'm fat, I think I'm ugly, I don't think I'm worthy, or I have to do X, Y, and Z to be good enough. Once you write those down a couple times, you're going to look back and be like, oh, this is actually me that's telling myself that. Have I actually ever heard anybody else tell me that? It could be their actions or a situation that you now internalize that to be the case. But you may not actively have somebody who's telling you over and over and over again, you're not good enough. No. There are situations where that might be the case. Journaling can then help you get those patterns out, really go inside, really analyze what's going on, what are your standards, what are you okay with, what is true for you. Just because somebody's saying something or doing something and telling you that's how it is, isn't necessarily true. You get to decide what your standards are. You get to decide what your morals are. You get to decide what you allow other people to do to you. And I really hope that if you are in a tough situation, an abusive situation, a situation where you are being held back, verbally, mentally, and emotionally abused, that you do seek help. I am very fond of the nonprofit RAINN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. If you are in a physically abusive or sexually abusive situation, please go to their website, contact them. Also, suicide prevention hotline. If you are having suicidal thoughts, I'm telling you, it is not the answer, and there are a ton of people that want you here and want to help you and do care, so please call them. And if you do need to get out of a situation, look up local shelters and give yourself that love of getting out of those situations. It got deep really quick, but it's really important. Personally, I have been in physically abusive, sexually abusive, emotionally and mentally abusive relationships in my past. And one was my father. It was the household that I grew up in. And the amount of trauma that can happen in just the way that you think about yourself and other situations and other people changes drastically. And it is very important that you take the steps actively to realize what's going on in your head. How did this impact you? And a lot of people are scared to even make that phone call to a coach or a therapist or psychotherapist or doctor or friend even. And one great way to start figuring this out, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how to get out of it, where your strength is, and what you really want for your life, is journaling. And that sounds funny, but it is a very inexpensive and simple way to start moving the needle in the right direction. It's going to start to unravel your negative thinking. It's going to increase the amount of positive thinking that you have. You're going to see your patterns. And it's going to be uncomfortable. There's absolutely times it's going to be uncomfortable. And this is not just for women. This is for men too. Call it what you want to, whether it's journaling, scripting, I've heard noveling, or your internal dialogue. Whatever name you want to put to it that makes you feel comfortable, please do. Because the moment we have resistance against something, we don't want to do it, right? And we can feel that initially. So I really recommend you give it your own name. You get a book that is appealing to you, or whatever you have, start there. And a nice pen that makes it easy to write. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry if it makes sense. Just get your thoughts and feelings out on paper. That is the most important part and way to start. Just get it out. It might seem like word vomiting. Get it out. That is the goal. That's how we start. Then, as you get more used to journaling, you can start to get some structure to it. Or if you have no idea how to start and you want to start, you're ready, you've been doing a lot of the thinking internally, and you've worked through a lot of stuff or talked it out, and you want some structure, I have some tips for you. Of course, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So, different ways that we can journal is, like I mentioned, one is a gratitude list. You can have multiple books, or you can have one and just flip the pages. There's no true rules or structure to this. So you can list out things that you are grateful for. I always have a golden rule of 3. If you're going to do something, at least start with 3 things. To-do list, at least put 3 things on there. Gratitude list, at least put 3 things on there. If you're feeling the momentum and you're really cranking through it, keep going. Especially with a gratitude list. The key to a gratitude list is feeling it as you're writing it. Let's say a friend sent you a random card in the mail, which, by the way, we have to do for each other more often. I miss actual mail. I don't know if you guys do too, but I know I do. So let's say you had a friend that mailed you something, and they wrote a beautiful note, and it made you feel so good. While you're writing that out on your gratitude list, close your eyes and envision yourself grabbing that piece of mail what you felt, the excitement and happiness when you opened it up and you read that note inside, right? It's all about cultivating those feelings. You can bring up any feeling inside of you that you want to. You can maintain whatever feeling you want inside of yourself at any given time. It's all about your focus. This is the beauty of a gratitude list. Is if you are in the state of being grateful and being kind and loving and honored for the things that are coming into your life, what do you think is going to happen? Probably a little bit more of that coming your way, right? When you see people out and about, the people who are talking from their heart and who are so grateful or so loving, you're drawn to them. So whatever you are feeling, you are also putting that out into the world. That is our vibration, right? And you can always think about it this way. Here's an analogy. If you walked into a room that a couple just had an all-out nasty fight, when you walk in, you didn't hear anything, you're going to be like, ooh, okay, what just happened here? I can sense something happened. That's the energy, because they were just pushing out such negative, intense energy that now walking into that room and into that space, we're able to pick that up too, because we're energetic beings. Everything is energy, and it's all vibrating. So as we make more videos, I'll talk more and more about that. But that's how you can kind of understand what gratitude does. When you're exuding being grateful and loving and kind and appreciative, you're going to get more situations like that. You're going to be attracting more people who are of the same vibration, who want to share that with other people, right? If you're feeling loving, kind, and grateful, you're going to want to give that to other people just like they're going to want to give it to you. That has to do with law of attraction and vibrations. I'll do a whole video on law of attraction. That's just kind of the quick version of how that works. 5-minute rule. I love a good time rule, especially if we are super busy, super tired, or just over it, or if you're pissed off. Set a timer, 5 minutes. And you know what, you could even do 3. I like 5 just because it's common increment, but set your timer on your phone and just write. Even if it is big scribbles, if you're angry, whatever it is, just get it out. Once the timer is done, then you're off doing your next thing. If that's all you have and you have another appointment, another meeting, a family function to go to, set the timer, write whatever comes to mind, just word vomit it out on the page, and then go. Especially if you are having anxiety, this is a really good one for dumping a lot of your thoughts, dumping a to-do list, dumping things that are kind of like scratching at you in the back of your mind, whether it be filling out insurance forms or taxes and all the paperwork, the administration stuff that gets business going, but it's kind of the boring stuff in the background, but it's super important. It's nice to just dump that out on a piece of paper. Maybe that turns into your to-do list. But then when you now go onto that next part of your day, you are going to be clear-minded and you're going to be able to be present. Everybody can tell when you're present and when you're not. So this is a great way to get your mind out on a piece of paper. You can reference this later and then be present for your friends and family or for wherever you have to show up to next. The next thing, kind of a topic, is things I learned today. If you don't know where to start in journaling, what did you learn today? Be completely objective, right? You could be upset, you could be happy, you could be nonchalant. Is it, I learned the mailman comes at 3 p.m. every day. Just get observations out. Start there and then see what thoughts come up afterwards and maybe that turns into your journal entry for the morning or the night. I personally enjoy journaling right before I go to bed because it clears my mind, and then I do a mini meditation to reset my vibration before I go to bed. So when I wake up, I'm bringing a positive. It's like you kind of restart where you left off when you slept. So that's one thing that I do. You could do a daydream or a dream life. If you could have any scenario in the world for your life, what would it be? And fully get lost in it. Again, no judgment to yourself, because nobody else is going to be reading this. Quick touch on that. If you have other people in your house that are journaling and you're journaling, please, please, please practice the utmost respect to not go into their journals, and also communicate how important it is to you that this is your space as well. And if you need to hide it, you need to lock it up in a little safe, whatever it may be, do that so you feel safe in your journal. I cannot stress that enough. You have to feel safe and not judged in your journal, that you can just write whatever comes to mind so you're able to process and you're able to get to your next level that you want to go. So you're able to heal. So you're able to improve your memory. So you're able to go internal and see what the heck's going on. Because I'm going to tell you, we're humans. Not all of our thoughts are beautiful. Not all of our thoughts are loving. But we have to get them out and we have to process and then find out why. Why did we even have that thought? Okay, yes, I was emotional, but I actually don't mean that. Here's what I learned from the situation, and now we can move forward. So, do what you have to do to feel safe in your journal. If you hear that noise, I'm like tapping on my book because I get really passionate about this. Accomplishments. This is a big one, especially when it comes to New Year's resolutions. Whenever it comes around to a new year or a new time or a new month, I even like doing this practice and this journal entry every single month, because you can look back and say, what did I accomplish? What did I actually set my mind to, or what did I accomplish, even if it was random and sporadic, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go do this garden, got inspired over a weekend, you did it, write that down. So then, we have New Year's coming around, or a new month, you can look back and see, I actually accomplished a heck of a lot more than what I thought I did. What that does to your self-confidence and your trusting in your ability to do things and figure things out is unreal. So many times at New Year's, I hear people saying, I didn't do anything last year. Like, okay, really? Let's look back. Go through every single month, whether it be school, whether it be work, personal, relationships, analyze everything. And there's no accomplishment too small. Just because somebody else might view it small, it might be really big to you. Guess what? This is your life and your journal. Write it down. Every accomplishment is an accomplishment. Let's drop the big, small, mediocre. It's an accomplishment. Write it down and give yourself credit for that. Don't be afraid to do that. Give yourself credit. The only person that is going to reward you is you. The only person that's going to actually pat you on the back the way that you deserve is you. You should be feeding yourself and fueling yourself. Don't put that on somebody else, because we all have different ways of communicating love and appreciation that they might not be able to, and depending, again, what's going on in their life, they might not be able to appreciate you and love you in the way that you need either. So give that to yourself. Desires and standards is another good topic. Explore that for yourself. What does that look like? What does that mean to you? What makes you feel good? What are no-goes? What doesn't work for you? That's also another really important one. Signifiers, especially if you are just starting out, you don't know what to journal on, or you're really busy. Have, again, 3 signifiers, whether it be health, relationships, work. And it could be things that went really well to do, or things that you want to work on, right? Again, there's no real rules, but whatever area of your life that you really want to focus on, maybe pick those 3 things that support improving that area of your life. That could be your signifier, and maybe you stick with that signifier for a month or 2, and then you change them. Again, no rules. It's what works for you. And the moment that it starts to get dreadful, I guess for lack of a better term, switch it up. Change your journal entries. Again, there's no rules, and this should be fun. This should feel empowering. You should feel the growth and the healing and the momentum from this. Another really good tip that helps me and that I tell my clients is having a mini book. Whether it be one of those like small flip books or just a mini bound journal that you can throw in your purse or in your work bag, so that whenever an idea or something comes up, or let's say something traumatic happens, or a boss acts a certain way and it triggers you or makes you feel something, or you feel like they weren't unjustified, or you don't know what to do or how to pivot from there, open that up, journal right then and there. You could be at a doctor's appointment for your children, waiting for them. Perfect opportunity. Now you have 5 minutes, write in your journal. So a small one that fits in your pocket, your bag, your purse, also very helpful. And they make smaller pens or pencils that works too. A lot of places and businesses have pens sitting around, so even if you don't have one, there's a little way. I trust you'll be able to find one. The next tip that I want to bring up is paper clips. It could be bookmarks, paper clips, a ribbon or a bow, a hair clip or a bobby pin to mark your page, to mark a to-do list, or a great idea that you had. Put that right on the top of the page, or mark that with the ribbon. However you see works best for you and your life and what's accessible to you. That's easy. Again, we're not trying to add a bunch of stuff to your life to make it hard and difficult. We want this to be easy and flow in a positive direction, to get towards healing, improving your memory, your critical thinking skills, and really working through your emotions so you know what your emotions are, how they work, what activates them, and how to get more control over them. How to think about your emotions and understand what your emotions are telling you, right? Because they're your guidance system. They tell you what works for you, what doesn't, and journaling really helps to break that down and what they're trying to tell you. I cannot stress it enough. There's a little bug that's flying around. One of the best decisions that I made is to start journaling, and it's changed my life. And you can always Google different journal topics. This is now 29 minutes, and it's gone 10 minutes longer than I wanted to for this video, but it's a really, really important topic, and it's a really great way to help yourself that's really inexpensive, and I think really moves the needle in one of the greatest ways. So, if you got something from this video and you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, follow. I would love to have you part of this community. And by all means, your favorite journaling topic, if you could share in the comments below, I would love to hear them and have them available for other people to check out and to use for themselves. If you haven't already, definitely download my snapshot life chart linked down below so you can see what areas of your life that you want to start focusing on for improvement and get that going. So we are here to help improve our lives and help other people cheer them on. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon.